Our objective for today, can solve and graph quadratic equations using the quadratic formula. Let's read together. 1, 2, 3. Good. So our concept's still the same, quadratic equation, so that's why we don't need a Freire model. By now you should know what that is. But today we're learning a new method of solving, which is using the quadratic formula. So, like I said, quadratic equations, you already have this Freire model filled, right? Examples, non-examples, hashtags. And then underneath that, you're going to write steps. And the steps you're going to come up with once we do an example to make sure that everybody's following along. Okay? So, where you wrote steps, I want you to skip about 8 lines, and then I want you to write the quadratic formula. And if you have your colored pens, have those handy. You will need them. Everybody ready? All right, here we go. The quadratic formula starts like this. Write this down in black. X equals minus, switch to red, B, switch to black, plus minus, square root, switch to red, B, switch to black, squared, minus 4, switch to blue, A, switch to green, C, switch to black. You're going to draw a fraction bar after the equal sign. Does everybody see the equal sign right here? So then a fraction bar from here all the way to the end, over, 2, switch to blue, A. No, it's not that bad. Go ahead, say it.
I don't know what this is. What is it?
Oh, students. Quadratic formula, student. The quadratic formula, look up, notice that it starts with x equals. Well, we've been solving quadratic equations, haven't we? And what do we get at the end? X equals something, doesn't it? So what do you think this is going to give us at the end? X equals something and x equals something. The roots, that is correct. We get the roots using this formula. So this is how it's read. X equals minus b plus minus square root b squared minus 4ac over 2a. It is x equals minus b plus minus square root b squared minus 4ac over 2a. X equals minus b plus minus square root b squared minus 4ac over 2a. X equals minus b plus minus square root b squared minus 4ac over 2a. X equals minus b plus minus square root b squared minus 4ac over 2a. X equals minus b plus minus square root b squared minus 4ac over 2a. X equals minus b plus minus square root b squared minus 4ac AC over 2A. X equals minus B plus minus square root B squared minus 4AC over 2A. X equals minus B plus minus square root B squared minus 4AC over 2A. Okay, next, check this out. With only one color, I'm going to switch to black. We're going to say it again, slower, as we're writing it down. Are you guys ready? Underneath the one we just did. On 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. X equals minus B plus minus square root B squared minus 4AC over 2A. One more time. On 3. 1, 2, 3. X equals minus B plus minus square root B squared minus 4AC over 2A. One more time on 3. 1, 2, 3. X equals minus B plus minus square root B squared minus 4AC over 2A. Okay? Turn your paper over. Without looking at your notes, try me the quadratic formula. Don't say it out loud, please. Don't look at your notes. Okay, let's see. On 3. 1, 2, 3. X equals minus B plus minus square root B squared minus 4AC over 2A. You got it? All right. Turn to your neighbor and let them know the quadratic formula without looking at your notes, please. Sergio, go. Quadratic formula on 3. 1, 2, 3.
X equals minus B plus minus square root B squared minus 4AC over 2.
Bam. Pass it to someone. Garrett, on 3. 1, 2, 3.
X equals minus B plus minus square root B squared minus 4AC over 2A.
Pass someone. Sergio.
X equals minus B plus minus square root B squared minus 4AC over 2A.
Pass someone. Garrett.
X equals minus B plus minus square root B squared minus 4AC over 2A.
Pass to someone else.
Jesse.
Jesse.
X equals minus B squared plus minus.
Close. On 3, everybody. 1, 2, 3. X equals minus B plus minus square root B squared minus 4AC over 2A. All right, so I think we got it. Jesse, go.
X equals minus B plus minus square root B squared minus 4AC over 2A.
Bam, let's go. Copy this one, example Q. Y equals 2x squared minus 8x plus 1. Just copy it, and I'm going to go over this one, and I'll elaborate. Go. All right, check this out. Now, each method that we learn throughout the school year for the different types of concepts has a purpose. For example, when we got to system of equations, there was graphing, substitution, and elimination. And some worked well for some problems, some worked well for other problems. Same thing with quadratic equations. So watch. Earlier we solved one just like this. Look up. And the first thing that we needed to do was to check to see if it was in standard form. You guys remember that? So here it goes. What does standard form looks like? Well, step one. Is it in standard form? We assume that it is because it's from greatest to least, yes? But this is what it looks like, the actual standard form without any numbers. Look up. Y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. Does that look like that? Yes. What would be the next step to solving this one? We change y to what? 0. 0 equals 2x squared minus 8x plus 1. Now, Ian earlier said we've learned 3 different methods already, which is by graphing using a table, Power Rangers, which is factoring, and then completing the square that we did last week. Ian, which one do you want me to use to solve this one right now? Okay, he said using the Power Rangers. So here we go. So, what goes on top, everyone? 2. What goes on the bottom? -8. So let's see, factors of 2. 1 times 2, and that's it. Will this give me that if I add those? No, it doesn't work. Well, guess what will work? Using what? The quadratic formula. So here goes the process. Pay attention, please. Here it goes. Look up. So we already know step 1, right? Check. Here goes step 2. Look up, please. Here it goes. Tell your neighbor what you will call step 2. ID what? A, B, C. That is correct. Step 2 is to ID A, B, C. So you're just paying attention right now. Don't copy yet. Don't copy yet. You'll copy at the end. Here it goes. Look up. Step 3. I just did step 3. Tell your neighbor what you're going to call step 3. Everyone? Right. Thank you, Aaron. Write the QF. Pretty straightforward. Quadratic formula. Write down or write the quadratic formula. Okay, here we go. Step 4. Pay attention to this step. You're just paying attention. You'll copy at the end, Keone. Ready? Here goes. X equals minus parentheses plus minus square root parentheses squared minus 4 parentheses parentheses over 2 parentheses. What do we call step 4? What did I just do? Tell your neighbor, please. Stefania, what would I call step 4? Substitute A, B, C into the quadratic formula. Did we do that? Yes. Let me go to step 5. What is negative times a negative? Positive 8 plus minus square root What is negative 8 squared? 64. What is negative 4 times 2? Times 1 over 2 times 2 is 4. X equals 8 plus minus square root 56 over 4. What would we call this? Tell your neighbor, please. That is correct. Simplify. Step 6. Pay attention to this part. Oh, sorry. Tell your neighbor, step 6. That is correct. 2 EQs. And then we'll finish off the next step after you copy this. Copy that, please. I know, right? It's cool. Be nice. Copy that. So up to right there, as we can see, most of this stuff we already make sense of, and it's fairly simple. It's just lengthy, right? However, what if I asked you to graph this? What's that? Okay, let's say I ask Aaron to graph this. What do you think Aaron's going to do first for this part? What do you think he would do? No. Be nice. Look at this part. What would he do here, everyone? Simplify what? Look up. He would simplify which one? The square root of 56. I'm going to do that right here. Square root of 56, because we need a value for it, right? So let's find the value. Square root of 56 is in between square root of 49 and square root of 64, which means square root of 56 is going to be approximately 7 point something. How do we know that? Well, if this one falls in between these two perfect squares, what is square root of 49? 7. Square root of 64 is 8. It can't be more than 8. It has to, and that can't be less than 7. So it has to be 7 point something. So let's find the decimal form of that. Let's see. 56 minus 49 is 7. What is 64 minus 49? 15. Okay. Do we know how to get a decimal out of 7/15? Yes. 7 divided by 15. Does not fit in there. Add a 0. Fits in there 4 times. 4 times. That's 60. Subtract, that's 10. Add a 0. 15 into 100, that's 6 times. That's 90. Subtract 10, and it repeats. So if we round to the nearest hundredth, this becomes 0.47, right? 7.47. So look, now we can write 8 plus 7.47 over 4. What is 8 plus 7.47? 15.47 over 4. So let's see, what is this in decimal form? 15.47 divided by 4, that's 3. 12, subtract 3, 4, 8, 32, subtract 2, 7, 6, 24, and I'll stop right there. So this is approximately 3.86. Do you know how to graph or plot this point? Yes, it's better than what? 8 plus square root of 56 over 4, right? Well, guess what? Let's do the same for this one. 8 minus 74.7 divided by 4. What is 8 minus 74.7? So that's 0.53 divided by 4. Let's see. 0.53 divided by 4. Fits in there once. Subtract 1, 3, 3. That's 12. Subtract 1 and 2. I'll leave it at 0.13. This is approximately 0.13. Copy that, please. If you want to copy how to change it to decimal form, you're going to need that for the home plate, unless you use a calculator. What are those? I know. So copy this, and then we're going to graph it. Yes, tutoring today. And Rafa, stay behind so I can talk to you. So let's graph this. What are my roots? 3.86. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. It's not all the way to 4. It's about right there, 3.86. The other one is 0.13. Here's 1. 0.13 is about right there. 0.13. What is my y-intercept? Look at the equation at the beginning. What was my constant? 1. Positive 1. Do you guys see this? 1. Okay, that's my y-intercept. 1. And let's graph this. From left to right. There it is. Yes.
Why is, like, once you reach the point 15 to the 1, why don't you just, make a straight line from the
Because then it wouldn't be a parabola. Parabolas are in curved form. All right, so our home plate for tonight is found on pages 607 and 608 only. It's only 2 pages. Yeah, there is tutoring tonight. If I don't see you here in the afternoon, have a good one. Enjoy your home plate. See you guys tomorrow. Bye.